Turning now to the war in Ukraine. At least one person is dead and several others are wounded after a massive Russian aerial assault on the Ukrainian cities overnight. The barrage of nearly 300 drones and dozens of missiles targeted energy infrastructure and residential areas, leaving 6 regions without power. The attacks come just days before the 4th anniversary of the invasion. CBC's Julia Chapman has more.
Ukraine's Air Force says it intercepted 33 of 50 missiles launched by Russia overnight and 274 of nearly 300 drones. As usual, energy infrastructure was particularly heavily targeted in Kyiv, central Ukraine, and Odesa in the south. But in the Kyiv region, there were also residential buildings hit. One woman described how she slept when her ceiling collapsed on her in an attack on the outskirts of the capital. She says her husband pulled her out from under the rubble unscathed. Others were more badly injured. A woman and a child in Kyiv were taken to hospital. The country's energy grid operator says power outages were caused by the overnight onslaught. All of this comes 2 days before Ukraine marks 4 years since Russia invaded. The diplomatic process continues, but President Volodymyr Zelensky said this morning that Moscow continues to invest in strikes more than in diplomacy. And the process doesn't seem to be moving very quickly. Talks in Geneva this week between Russian, Ukrainian and American negotiators achieved no breakthrough. Moscow described the meetings as difficult but businesslike, while Zelensky accused Russia of trying to drag out the process. US President Donald Trump wants a deal, but his envoys haven't managed to convince Russia to make any meaningful concessions. Meanwhile, Ukraine faces added pressure from 2 of its other neighbors. Slovakia and Hungary still buy Russian oil via a pipeline that goes through Ukraine, but it was damaged in January in what Kyiv says was a Russian drone attack. Now, the importers have become increasingly frustrated and accuse Kyiv of delaying for political reasons because both countries have refused to take part in European Union interest-free loans to Ukraine. They've now issued an ultimatum. Slovakia says it will cut off electricity supplies to Ukraine tomorrow if it doesn't start receiving oil. Kyiv has called this blackmail. Julia Chapman, CBC News, London.